Hello and welcome to Stories, the True and the Fictional, the Indie Author Podcast supporting indie authors from all around the world. This episode is brought to you by Rebecca Castles of the Rising Dawn series and Martin Kearns of the Valor of Valhalla series. You too can become a sponsor by heading on over to buymeacoffee.com/STTATF or follow the link in the show notes. And now, let's get into the show. Warning. Listening to this episode may cause your TBRs to grow in size.
Hello guys and welcome to a brand new episode of Stories, the True and the Fictional, the indie author podcast supporting indie authors from all around the world. I'm one of your hosts, J.A. Bryden. With me always is our resident reader, Ryan. How you going, Triple R?
That's right. I am very, very good, very good. I mentioned last week I was Resident Evil Ryan reader, something. But I am no longer. I finished Resident Evil Requiem, which was absolutely amazing. I mean, probably, in my opinion, one of the best entries in the Resident Evil field, which is one of my favorite game series. So yeah, very, very good. Again, just doing a lot of reading. I actually started the novella that I bought last night, believe it or not, from our guest last night, behind the scenes. We did an interview less than 12 hours ago. With Catherine DeVries. And I picked up her novella and I started it last night. I only read a little bit, but it is so good so far. Very good sci-fi, which is weird because I'm not a massive sci-fi fan, but I'm digging it. So very, very good.
And interesting enough, spoiler alert behind the scenes, that episode's coming out after this one. So.
Oh, there you go. Wow.
You grabbed it in the future.
I grabbed it in the future and I got in Dr. Emmett Brown's DeLorean that he left in my driveway. And I went and bought the book and I am reading it in the future.
There you go. Excellent. Well, guys, remember to check out our sponsors, Rebecca Castles and Martin Kearns for the urban fantasy for Martin Kearns, the paranormal romance for Rebecca Castles. We also have honorary sponsors because they won our best read and best cover for 2025, and that's Alexander Robb with The Land of the Ill-Imagined for best cover, and Janelle Sheikey for The Clatterman.
The Clatterman.
So check that out, and she'll be on soon to talk about spiders, her new book. Buy Ryan's shirt. We do have some merch. Go down below into the links and the comments and all that stuff, and you'll find the links. Buy his shirt. Someone bought his shirt recently. I did not recognize the name, so we have a true fan. Yay!
I asked my wife if she again bought another shirt because I got excited when the first shirt was sold, and it ended up being my wife, and she bought me this shirt. But I'm very grateful. But no, she didn't buy the second one, so now there is someone else living the dream. Yep. Without having to pay me royalties for that cash raise. So I'm happy.
Excellent. Well, we've rambled enough. Let's bring in our guest, the one and only Michael Vadney. Thank you for joining us.
Hey folks, thank you so much for having me on, and I don't know if you guys can see me backstage, but I'm trying not to die during the shirt buying bit. That got me good.
It's that's what we do. Look, I think a lot of people already know who you are. Because we've seen you around, but for those who may not know, who is Michael Vadney?
Well, hello folks, I am Michael Vadney. I am the host of the Author Adjacent podcast and now author of Crownfall, a new adult noble dark fantasy. I'm very excited for it. I've been working on it for a while and have not shut up about it for about 4 years, so it's nice to finally put my money where my mouth is.
That's it. Now, do you have to change the name of your podcast or YouTube channel now? Because you're not adjacent anymore. You're part of them.
That is true, and I do address this. I address this in my newsletter. I finally started one, and in the very first one, I started talking about am I author adjacent anymore? And what I concluded with is yes, because especially going indie,
Yeah.
everyone who's an indie author is author adjacent
Yeah.
because you are also a publisher, you are
Yeah.
also a graphic designer, an advertiser, a small business owner. You're
Mm,
all these things,
yeah.
but you're also an author.
Yeah. Technicality. But I
Yeah.
like it.
Yeah.
But I like it.
Then the
Um,
nice thing about it is like I started the show because I didn't feel like I was an author yet, and
yeah.
that's why I called it that. I got the name from my wife, which you will see as like a reoccurring theme within a lot of things that I
Mm,
say. My wife is a huge inspiration for a lot of things that I do and a great encourager in my life. But we came up with the name, and it was because I didn't feel like an author yet.
yeah.
And now I finally do. I finally have a book out
Yeah.
and with like pre-orders and everything, and it's super exciting to finally see it like getting into people's hands.
Yeah. That's cool. So have you found out doing the author adjacent interviews and all that stuff that you're learning a lot more from other authors? Like you've just
Oh yeah, like
it's just
that
helped you
was
in a lot of ways.
yeah, it was an unexpected boon that I was not ex like I knew I was going to learn something. I
Yeah.
didn't realize how much.
Hmm.
Because like talking with other writers and stuff like that and other authors, it's they want to talk about stories, they want to talk about the nuts and bolts of it, and I think
Yeah.
a lot of that is because so much of writing is very solitary. So
Yeah.
when you finally get into a room with somebody that also has that interest, you're like,
Yeah.
yes, word vomit all of my knowledge.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, you word
Yeah.
vomit back.
Yeah.
This is so exciting.
Yeah. Which is strange because a lot of authors are really introverted. They're like in the corner. Like, you know?
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, even me, who I'm not. Unfortunately, I'm not. I guess I don't pay enough attention. I get distracted, so I can't write. I'd love to write a book, but I lose interest in that side of things quickly. But even me as a reader, I read like at least 3 to 4 hours a day. So I am a sponge. I soak in all the books,
Mm.
and I guess that's why me and Jamie on this podcast work well, because he's the writer, I'm the reader. I read everything he
Yeah.
writes. I read everything everyone writes. But even me being a reader, I've learned so much in doing this podcast for the last 4 to 5 years about the author's process and about
Mhm.
how you guys have to go and how great it is to be able to be an indie author, but also how much work has to go into it. Like you say, you have to do
Yeah.
marketing, you have to do, you're a small business, you're a writer, you're a promoter, you're everything. So I have so much respect for indie authors for all the hard work that they have to go through.
Thank you, Ryan. Like that's the big trade-off that you make with going indie is like, yes, you get all the creative control, you get to make all the decisions,
Mm.
but it's also you have to make all the decisions.
Yeah.
No one is going to push it forward for you. You have to be the driving force behind
Yeah.
your own success.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, all I can say is Ryan is the true author adjacent now.
I am. I am. I have taken the mantle of author adjacent.
I bow it down to you.
All right. We have a tradition here on the podcast, icebreaker questions. Even though I feel like we're hitting it off already, but we have these questions.
I'm ready.
The reason we do these is because we want our audience to get to know you on a more personal level, and then they will most definitely buy your books because they like you. You know, that's a great way to market. So I remember that
I'm okay
I'm
with
going first this time, Ryan, because
You
we
are, yeah.
recorded last night. My memory's fresh.
I'm glad you were able to remember that.
Yes. I've got selective memory. Um, so
It's got to make writing really hard.
you have no idea. So we we've had way too many political and selfless answers with all these. So we've kind of set a rule now.
Okay.
So we want you to be selfish. We want to get to know you. Essentially, there's a short. The short version is pet peeves is what we're really looking for. But Ryan likes to set the world up like there's no wars, there's no poverty. Everyone has the same money. The politicians are really nice and say what they do and do what they say. You know, it's
Okay.
almost like a Star Trek utopia. But
Yeah.
so with that in mind,
Love
to make
that.
things even more perfect, what would you want to get rid of in the world?
People's inability to use turn signals.
Yes.
Apparently, everyone's wrists are broken as soon as they
Yeah.
get onto the road and
Yeah.
magically heal as soon as they get
Yeah.
out of their car.
Yeah.
But like me driving is, my wife calls it the second meanest Michael in existence is me behind a car because it is just so easy to tell people like, hey, I'm going over this way.
Yeah.
We're all just trying to get to our destination as safely as possible.
Yeah.
So I'm going to let you know that I'm driving this 2-ton vehicle at 60 miles per hour and I'm going to move into this spot.
Yeah.
Great. Let's
Yeah.
do that so
Yeah.
that we all don't die.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous to me that people don't do that. So I would say if I can get rid of anything, it's people's inability to use turn signals.
I definitely agree. I haven't driven for about a year and a half now, but I used to be an Uber driver for about ten years. I used to
Oh,
do it
wow.
part time, and then I started doing it full time for a little while too. And yes, people do not know, or they put it on as they're almost
Halfway
finished,
through the turn.
Yes.
which is not what the turn signal is meant for. It
Nope.
is meant for,
Yeah.
the ability to let people know so that they don't
Yeah.
accidentally run into you.
Yeah.
So you 100% get behind that and agree with that 1,000,000,000%.
Mm. I like
I'm a firm believer that you should be putting on your turn signal before you touch your brakes to slow down to turn.
Mm.
Like that's the mark is like you
Yeah.
put on your turn signal, then you hit your brakes, then you turn. There's so much red flagging of letting me know,
Yeah.
oh, you're about to get in my way. Great.
Mhm. Yeah, because they've got to give you time to slow down as well, especially if you're on like a freeway or a highway or a motorway where you're going.
Yep.
You know, we ours are I think maxed out at our motorways at about 110 kilometers per
Yeah.
hour. So I don't know what that
Yeah.
works out at per hour, but that's fast. And if you're just going to merge over without indicating, and you got two vehicles going at that speed, that does
Yeah.
not equal happiness.
Yeah, and I live in Texas in the United States, and Texas has some of the faster highways in the United States. So 110 kilometers per hour is roughly 68 miles per hour, and here we have highways that go up to like 75 miles per hour. So
Okay,
we'll go pretty fast. So it's
Mm.
really important that you tell me where you're going.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
So,
And also, I'm curious about something that you said. You're the second meanest Michael. Who is the first meanest Michael?
The first meanest Michael is a Michael that is really tired and just wants to go to bed, but someone is trying to make him do something.
Yep, I get that.
Like,
I'm
like,
I'm married as well. I totally get that. I
yeah.
totally get that. I think no, my wife's pretty good, but there have been times where I've been up doing interviews or whatever, or I've been working and I come home and I just want to get into bed. She's like, "Can you get me some water or can you make me something to eat?" And I'm just like,
yeah,
"Yes, of course I will because I love you, but I just want to get into bed and sleep."
yep. Yeah, and I am a diehard morning person. Like I am up at 5 a.m. most days.
Mm.
So when I'm ready to go to bed, I am ready. It has been an exhausting day where I've done a bunch of things. I am ready to do that.
Yeah.
And everything my wife brings me to do that's like, hey, we need to do this, like she is 100% right. I'm the asshole in this situation. I will totally understand that in
Yeah,
retrospect.
Mm.
But in that moment, I need to get to bed.
yep, 100%. I totally agree. So I think we're on the same page with that pet peeve, and
You
with
and me, Ryan.
also definitely, man, definitely,
Author adjacent.
exactly. All right. Well, question number two is: what is something that's on your bucket list?
Well, becoming an author was on my bucket list. I am now there. It's super exciting. Besides that, I've done some cool things that I really like on my bucket list. I used to have skydiving on my bucket list, but then I realized I have a humongous fear of heights, and that's probably not going to happen. But I really want to go to Ireland. I've never
Ooh,
been. I've done some traveling. I've been to a lot of places in Europe. I've gone to China. I haven't been to Ireland. I haven't been to South America. I do want to go to Australia someday.
Mm.
Like, there's just a lot of travel locations that I've never been to that I still want to get to at least some point.
Yeah, well, my wife is Irish, and I haven't unfortunately been, but I've seen lots and lots of pictures and videos and stuff. It looks absolutely amazing. So I definitely think
Nice.
that would be a good thing to have on your bucket list for sure.
Yeah, it's a huge inspiration for a lot of like classic Western fantasy. To
Yeah.
see that landscape in person would be amazing.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
And that'd be a shorter flight than Australia, though, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, that would be much. It takes like over a day, I think, to get to Australia from the
Like a
US.
20 something hour flight.
I think so. I think
Yeah.
so. Depending on like where you're starting and ending. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be longer if you
It's
wanted to go to Perth, because Perth's
Yeah.
the west
Yeah.
coast, and to put it in perspective, to fly from Sydney, which is the east coast, to New Zealand, it's quicker than flying to
Yep.
Perth. It's a shorter
Yeah.
flight.
I'll keep that in mind when I'm trying to do it.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
really
the-
weird that flying to another country is quicker than flying to part of Australia from where we are.
Wow. Australia is huge though. Like I just don't think
Yeah.
people really understand the massive size. It's like when you see those YouTube thumbnails where it's like
Yeah.
Europeans react to the sizes
Yeah.
of US states.
Yeah.
That's like Australia is that to us. We
Well-
just don't understand how big it is.
I heard somewhere that we have a ranch that's almost the size of Texas.
Wow, a ranch?
Yeah, I think it's well
It's huge.
that's in your terms. I think it's like a farm or something, or it's a cattle place or something.
Yeah, yeah, like a cattle ranch. Yeah. That's absolutely humongous. Like
Yeah.
Texas is huge.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
encompasses like you could fit like multiple European countries into
Yeah.
it. God, I think you can fit like 20 or 30 Texases in Australia.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. It's a
Yeah,
lot though.
It's a lot, yeah. But it's also a whole lot of nothing.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
The area between South Australia and Perth, well, Western Australia in general is, there's not as
It's
many
literally almost half the
towns,
country.
more than almost half the country, but there's less towns and suburbs in Western Australia than there is in New South Wales, which is New South Wales is
Wow.
very small compared to WA, Western Australia. It's insane. There's so much, really, I don't like to say barren because it's not barren, but it's more, desert land kind of
Mhm.
area in Western Australia. So that's where, the rural places are.
Okay.
But
All things to keep in mind when I eventually get there.
100%. And also remember, every animal here will kill you. So that's another thing.
yes.
Honestly, that's one of the big reasons why I haven't gone yet. That and the 27-hour flight.
Yeah, pretty much every animal. I think we discussed this last week or the week before, and Jamie, please correct me if I'm wrong, because like I said, I've been awake for about 15 minutes. Is it 9 out of the 12 most deadliest snakes
Yep.
in Australia, and we've got the top 9, isn't it?
Well, something like that. We
Yeah.
definitely have the most deadliest. Yeah, but I know it's 9 out of the top 12, and we have the deadliest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And spiders as well. We have I think
I
there's a ridiculous amount of deadly spiders.
Yeah, I don't
Man.
know the stats on that, but all I can say is the big ones you see that are as big as your hand, they're not deadly, but they cause
Yep.
accidents
It's the little one.
we got a redback.
Oh my God. Yeah. Because like when you're little, that's when you're poisonous. That's how you rely on killing. When you're big, it's all muscle.
Yeah.
It's the same way with snakes. Like the big
Yeah.
snakes, those are big constrictors.
Yeah,
It's the little poisonous ones you got to worry about.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, we got a snake
Yeah.
that can kill you in 30 seconds. So
Yep.
Lovely.
it's just
No,
like
you don't see that on the tourist announcements. When they're like, "Come to Australia." I mean, if they wanted to be realistic, It'd be like, come to Australia, but make sure you wear a full bodysuit at all times. Because a lot of animals, even our kangaroos, like we have in Australia, there's two main types of kangaroos. There's the grey kangaroo, and they're the ones you'll see in, your zoos and your wildlife parks where you can feed them and you can sometimes pet them and they're lovely and, they're the ones that are on the tourist ad. Then we have these things called red kangaroos. Red kangaroos are the big, muscly ones that look like Arnold Schwarzenegger in his prime that for some reason love to punch out Americans. And I don't know why it is. And no offense to you guys, Michael, but I think it's because most videos I've seen on YouTube and Facebook and Instagram, the minority of your lovely people who are, not the smartest and go, yeah, I can knock out a kangaroo. And then they try and fight one of these kangaroos and get knocked out first punch. These ones are muscly, they're huge, and I've seen videos of them taking on crocodiles and winning. So
you won't catch me doing that.
Yeah,
it's there. I honestly, they're mainly north, so they're in like the Northern Territory and Northern WA, so they're very rural areas. So you may see them in zoos and wildlife parks, but they're not the ones that are in the open space where you can go and feed and pat. They're the ones that are behind cages and would be UFC fighters if they could be.
They're in the corner just training on the bag.
Yeah.
They're training. Yeah, they're insane.
It's funny. Yeah, I'd say my biggest tip is don't go north when you come to Australia.
Yeah,
that's where everything is that will kill you.
Yeah.
All right, good to know.
Cassowaries up the top.
Jamie's massive fear of cassowaries.
I hate cassowaries.
Have you ever seen a photo of a cassowary, Michael?
No, I'm looking one up right now. Oh wait, that's the big bird, right?
Yeah, it's like an emu, but
like a raptor feet. It's got raptor feet. It's got a mohawk, but it's an actual. It's like
I'll pop one on the screen.
Yeah, it's like a stone mohawk. And they make the sound that they make is just freaking scary.
There we go.
They are that's a cassowary. So they don't look that bad. They don't look like this bird is insane, but
they have a kill count.
They do.
I am a little alarmed. How big do they get? Because those mitts look like they could just palm me.
There's 3 types of them. Like you got like a dwarf one, which is like 4 feet high or whatever. But I think they get to almost 6 feet tall.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely not. Let's not mess with that.
It is literally a dinosaur. The first time I saw one, I was in a zoo, and it just it did the Velociraptor thing. Like it's just its head just emerged from. I think it was like clever girl. I'm just.
Man.
The
that
sounds that they make is it's kind of like a loud version of the Predator talk from the movie Predator.
Oh my god!
Man, I think I've never seen one in the wild. I've only ever seen one in Taronga Zoo, which is a big zoo in Sydney. So they're very scary.
Yeah,
it sounds like you don't want to see one in person. So,
like I
good
said,
job. You're succeeding.
North. Don't go north. That's all I'm saying. Don't go north, and you'll be right.
I'll keep that in mind when I make my travel plans.
Right. Now that the tourism part of the podcast is over, let's get to the next question. It comes with a visual aid, and
yes, and it was weird last night. We actually don't interview many Australian authors because we just don't get them. They don't reach out or whatever. Mm-hmm. It's mainly, you guys from the States or people from the UK or whatever that may be. Canada.
Mm-hmm.
So we normally say when Jamie brings up this visual aid, you guys will be very familiar with it. Mm. It's something that you guys know a lot about in America because it is the Mount Rushmore.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, there it is. So who are these presidents? No, that's not the question. The question is, what is your Mount Rushmore of television shows or streaming shows? 4 shows that you would want to put up there to say
Ooh,
that four of the best.
four of like the best. All
And
right.
In
that's
your
First,
personally.
opinion.
I
That's personally like to you. You don't have to.
yes, my favorites.
Yeah.
So number one, very easily. These are in no particular order, but I'm gonna
Yeah.
say numbers as I go.
Mhm.
Uh, Definitely first would be Firefly. Like
Yes, yes,
huge fan. The writing is so good and witty, and it's just a bunch of snappy
Yeah.
comebacks between all the characters.
Yeah.
Absolutely love it. And one of the things I really love about that show is that every character has a unique relationship with all the other characters.
Yeah.
So who Mal is to one character is not the same as who he is to everyone
Mm.
else.
Yeah.
And I'm really looking forward to whatever the heck announcement that they've
yeah.
been building up
Yes, I
on
was
the
going to ask you
internet.
about that.
I want to know.
Yeah.
I
And
was gonna ask that because we've been kind of sharing them in our group chat because we're all massive
Yep.
Firefly fans. And
Nice.
the first one I think we saw was Nathan Fillion with Summer Glau, and then they all went, and then we kind of talked about like the whole Alan Tudyk thing because
Hmm.
spoiler alert for a almost 20-year-old show that he unfortunately does not make it out alive, and then
Mhm.
Nathan Fillion, one of the last teasers is he goes and talks to Alan Tudyk and says, "I can't do this without you." So I was like, what's going on here? So
Mhm.
we're finding out, I think,
Yeah.
tomorrow, Monday over here, and Sunday over there in the States. So we've only got a little bit of time
Oh my
to
God.
wait.
Yeah.
By the time this comes out, we may
Yes,
already know.
Oh, okay. Well,
we will.
do we want to play predictions? Do we want to play predictions?
I'm gonna say they're doing what they do with most shows lately, like with Scrubs and with
Yeah.
a lot of shows. I'm gonna say that they're gonna do at least another series because I mean the amount of online
Mm.
fan hatred because it got cancelled after one season
Yeah.
Yeah.
is I'm gonna say that I'm gonna say we're gonna get another at least another one series.
Well, do you think they're going to ignore the movie then?
Yes, 100%. I mean, the movie was good, but yeah, I think it's just going to ignore the movie. I'm going to think, that is just going to be its own thing.
Yeah.
This may be sacrilegious, but I hope you're wrong. And I
Mm.
say that with a lot of love because I think most of the actors they're not the same people anymore. And
Yeah.
then that would be really hard to play those characters again.
Yeah.
Like it has been a very long time. But the second best thing that I think could happen is if they voice act those characters in some kind of animated show.
See, I was thinking that's where my head was going. Maybe they'll do an
Yeah.
animated series or an animated movie or something. Um,
I think that would do amazing. Like
yeah.
it's a way to bring all the actors back with that same kind of like relationships between each other and
Yeah.
hopefully that like snappy dialogue coming back too
Yeah.
without having to worry about like how old everybody is and everything,
Yeah.
how long it's been since they've been these characters.
Yeah.
Um, I think it'd be dope. I'd watch it.
You don't want to de-age them with the CGI that they always do.
I'm not a fan of it.
I
I
know.
remember when they did
No.
it to Robert Downey Jr. and Iron Man. I'm
Yeah, it
like,
looks
this
weird.
just looks weird.
Well, the first time they did it, that I remember seeing it was Tron. They did a Tron movie, probably
Oh
15 years ago with
yeah.
Jeff
Yeah.
Bridges.
Yep.
Yeah, and that was weird.
I
'Cause
remember that.
that's when they first tried it, and you went, this looks weird, man. This looks like absolutely weird.
Yeah, overly CGI'd people just in general. It's that uncanny valley of just like there's something really disturbing about this.
Yeah. We just lost Ryan, which means his internet cut out.
That's all right. He'll return. I
He will
believe in
return. You believe in him. Summon
him.
him.
I bring forth the Ryan.
Yeah. No, I love Nathan
That'd be
Fillion.
great if he just showed up.
Um,
Yeah.
we
I
we
watched a little bit of his show, his new one, the cop show.
Rookie. Yeah.
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 Surprisingly funny.
Yeah. Castle was pretty good too. I like Castle.
I never got into that one. Like I saw clips, I'm like, this is interesting, but I just wasn't ready for that at
Yeah.
that point in my life. I just had too much going on otherwise.
Well, he plays an author, so you should be all into that, you
I know. Like,
know.
why am I not?
Yeah, we had someone on the podcast probably 3 or 4 years ago who was an actress from LA, and she was on an episode of Castle, and I'm going like, tell me everything about
Nice.
Nathan Fillion. You know?
Yep. I still think of Nathan Fillion in Dr. Horrible sing-along blog.
Oh wow, yeah. I only found out like a few years ago that he could sing, like he could actually sing. Like I'm going like,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
just I love it when I find out people can sing. You know?
Like their hidden talents.
Yeah, like flipping when Zachary Levi did Tangled. I'm going, no.
Yeah.
It's like he can
Yeah,
sing.
they're just holding back on you, and then they're just like, bam, I'm a triple threat.
Yep. Or you always find out on the TV shows that do the musical episodes. You know, you
Yep.
go, okay,
Speaking of Scrubs and such,
yes, that's my favorite musical
a
episode of
lot of
all
good
time.
ones.
Um,
It's a really good one. They
it-
pulled out all the stops on that.
the because they got someone from Broadway to play the guest, and a lot of Broadway people writing it. So
Wow,
it's like we're gonna make this professional. Um,
that's smart.
did you ever?
I'm a big musical and theater fan, so anytime a show does that, like especially when it's that like sitcom kind of situation, like How I Met Your Mother and
Yep.
Scrubs and stuff like that, it's always a good time.
Yeah. Ryan's back. But have you ever watched a show called Gallivant?
Gallivant. I don't think I have.
You need to watch that show. It's on Disney Plus if you've got that. It it was a show that was written for Zachary Levi because the people from Tangled worked did so Alan Menken worked on this show, and it's like Disney for
Hmm.
adults. It's like a fourth wall breaking medieval fantasy where they sing
Hmm.
randomly sing songs, and it's got random guest appearances from Weird Al Yankovic, Ricky Gervais, um,
Kylie Minogue.
Kylie Minogue in an episode. Um,
I'm definitely gonna have to
it's
check that
it's
out. That looks
fantastic.
awesome.
Yeah, it's only 18 episodes. You can watch it in a day. It is so good.
Yeah, Jamie recommended it to me. I think we watched one. I was at his place. We watched 1 or 2 episodes, and then I went home and watched all of it. This was before. I think it was before Disney Plus came out in Australia, which is where it's
Yeah,
currently streaming.
yeah.
Hmm.
But luckily, Jamie had the
The
DVDs and he
DVD.
lent them to me.
Nice.
And yeah, it was so good. I watched the first season in one day and watched the second season the next day. It was so good.
Yeah. It's you'll love it. As a musical fan, you will
Yeah.
absolutely adore it.
I'm gonna say this looks like right up my alley.
Yeah, yeah. Like it was one of those hidden gems that came out about 10 years ago, and I remember meeting one of the actors, Timothy Omenson, I think, if you know. Did you ever watch a show called Psych?
I didn't. My wife watched a lot of
Yeah.
that, but
Well,
I did not get into it.
he was a cop from that. But yeah, so I met King Richard, um, and we're in line, and it's Australia, and there's a whole lot of people in the line looking back and going like, "We're all here because of Gallivant," but they don't know if everyone in the line didn't know if it was out in Australia because they'd all downloaded it illegally, and they're going like, "Are we allowed to say this? Like, will you know?" And then like everyone's
Will
googling,
we
they're
go
going,
to jail?
like everyone's like googling, and they go, "Oh no, it played on free to air TV on some random channel." Yes, we're safe.
We can claim it.
We can claim it. Yeah. No, he was a great guy. Yeah,
Nice.
I'm obsessed with it. But
And
anyway,
I think that was my favorite iteration of Vinnie Jones in a TV show role too.
yes.
Like Vinnie Jones, the ex-football player, hard ass guy,
Yeah.
from all the
Oh
acts
yeah.
from Mean Machine, and he plays King Richard's like head of security, I guess you'd call him.
Or like his protection,
Hmm.
he's
Yeah, he's protector. That is Vinnie Jones. He is absolutely
Yeah.
hilarious
He's
in
just
that
like,
show.
everybody sing.
Yeah, it's so funny. It's
And then
so funny.
and then in season 2 he sings a love song. He's
Yeah.
like, oh, I love I don't want to
It-
Yeah,
spoil
I
it
know
for you.
him from Guy Ritchie movies.
Yeah.
Mhm,
Well,
mhm.
he'll make
Mhm.
it for you. I don't want to spoil.
Nice.
I don't want to say anything too much more. I want you to watch it. You need to go and watch it. But for
Yeah.
now, seeing that can't be on your Mount Rushmore because you haven't watched it.
I've not.
What's your next TV show?
My next one, I'm gonna go pretty different. I'm gonna go to anime on this one, Full Metal Alchemist
Yes.
Brotherhood.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
Nice.
It
Yep.
is the best anime in existence, in my opinion, especially for people who have never watched anime. It is the best first one to get you into the medium because there's a lot of things in anime that I really hate. I hate the weird, cringy, like fan service stuff.
Hmm.
It creeps me out. And I have a very low tolerance for it.
Okay.
But Full Metal Alchemist is a complete story. It's got action, it's got drama, it's got huge amount of stakes. It takes itself seriously while still being able to laugh at itself. It's phenomenal. It's 10 out of 10 will always be my favorite anime of all time.
Cool.
And that has been. I'm a big anime fan as well. Jamie, not so much, but correct me if I'm wrong. Full Metal Alchemist is one of the older animes that's been out for quite a while. I remember
Yeah.
I grew up on, Dragon Ball Z, Neon Genesis Evolution, and I'm pretty sure Full Metal Alchemist I watched around the same time. Is that right? Did it come out around that time?
Uh So the original, so there was Full Metal Alchemist that came out in 2003. And then there was
Okay.
Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood that came out in 2009.
Yeah.
And the big difference between those is just that the source material, the manga, the 2003 version, caught up to the manga when the manga wasn't done yet. And they're like,
Mm.
we're going to make up the story as we go. And it's very different. The Brotherhood, the 2009 version, mwah,
Mm.
perfect.
Okay. Okay. I'm gonna have to.
Big
I
fan.
don't think I've seen Brotherhood. I do remember watching the original back when because 2003 was about right. I finished school in
Yeah.
2000, so that makes sense. Um,
Yeah.
but
So
yeah,
I loved the 2003 version, and then I watched Brotherhood. I was like, this is about 10 times better.
Hmm.
It's so good. Check it out.
I will. I've just sort of in the last 2-3 years discovered we have Crunchyroll over here, and
Hmm.
that had pretty much all. I'm a massive horror fan, so I love the horror anime. Attack on Titan, Death Note,
Yeah.
Hellsing, all that kind of stuff. But I also branch out. Like I do like My Hero Academia, and I've recently gotten into One Piece because of one our friend Chris, and also the Netflix live action TV show, which I absolutely love. But yeah,
Yeah.
I'll have to check out Full Metal Alchemist. I'm pretty sure that's on Crunchyroll over here too, so I'll check it
Oh
out.
yeah. It will definitely be on there. You will not be disappointed.
Mm.
Some of it will be familiar, but there's going to be a lot of new stuff.
Awesome. Oh, I love getting new anime recommendations. Not everyone likes anime, so I appreciate that. I'll put that on my list.
I got you.
All right. Next one.
So yeah, I guess God, now we're getting hard. This might be too umbrella, but I'm gonna throw it out there. I'm just gonna say Star Trek in general because I
Mm.
didn't watch Star Trek growing up at all. I never touched it until just a few years ago for the first time. I watched Star Trek Voyager with
Nice.
Captain Janeway was
Yep.
my first one. And I watched all of that. Me and my wife, we'd watch it every night with dinner. And then we did Next Generation, which we finished that. And now we're on Deep Space Nine. We also took a break and did Lower Decks, which I will say, Star Trek Lower Decks is a gem in a lot
Mm.
of ways. And I'm very excited to rewatch that at some point because they have a joke in that series, in that show, pretty much every 3 seconds. And the
Yeah.
jokes hit 3 levels. There's the surface level joke that everybody will understand, and it's super fun. And then they do the Star Trek joke where it's just, this is a reference to another Star Trek.
Yeah.
And if you have a surface level understanding of what Star Trek is, you'll probably find this funny. And then they have the deep cut for
Yeah.
you've watched everything, you've seen it all, and
Yeah.
we just made a reference to something very small. And if you don't get it, that's great. It doesn't slow down or stumble the
Yeah.
story at all. But if you do get it, it's hilarious. So now I want to watch all the Star Treks and then rewatch Lower
Yeah.
Decks
Yeah.
so that I can get the deep cuts.
So you can be that Captain America meme, you know? I understood that reference.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly that. Exactly that.
Yeah.
Well,
Ah,
that's
man.
that's good to hear because I have put my wife is a massive Trekkie and she's watched everything and anything Star Trek, but I haven't watched Lower Decks because I thought, from what I've heard online, that it was just like it's not really a necessary part of the Star Trek universe because it's an animated version
Mm.
of a show. So
Hmm.
I haven't really watched it. So I'm keen to actually get on and give it a go.
Yeah, it's very cleverly done. Like it is a show for the fans, in my opinion. And it also has just like really good writing in it. There's this one line. The reason I started watching it with my wife is because we watched the trailer, and then there's this line is I was stuck in a sentient cave for a week. That's a dark place that knows things. And that line just made me laugh immediately. And I'm like, all right, I'm in. Let's try this. And we watched the whole thing. I'm like, this is good. I'm pleasantly surprised on the quality of this story.
That's such a dad joke, and like I love it. I love it. That's awesome. That's awesome.
I'm 100% there for that kind of humor.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, bring us home.
Oh God, fourth one. I have to think of a fourth one.
The fourth is
Um,
always the hardest. It's always the hardest.
yeah, I'm actually gonna pull out Supernatural on this one.
Ooh, tension.
Yes, and I will say this, saying that I have not finished the series.
Me too.
I
Yeah.
hear that they
Me too.
Yeah, I hear that they ended the show very well in a satisfying way. Good for them. But there was a point where the show just got kind of too ridiculous for me,
Yeah.
where it was just, okay, there's another threat, then there's
Yeah.
another threat, then there's another
Yeah.
threat. And I'm like, all right, you're kind of losing me. Like, and for
Yeah.
me, it was the point where the Leviathans came in. Like, soon as we hit the season where the Leviathans come in, I don't know how much of the show you guys have seen, but that's like the big bad of that
Yeah.
season. And I watched the first 2 episodes of that season. I went, you know what? I never have to watch this show ever again. I'm good.
Yeah. Ryan's making his Ryan face because I have to say
Yeah,
this every time.
because you know what? You know what? Like, I actually really like the Leviathans, and as it gets further into that season, I get what you
Yeah.
mean. I know exactly what part you're talking about, and I get it. But I'm one of those. I'm a tragic, right? So I'm the only one out of our friend group that kept watching the Marvel movies, and no
Mm.
matter how bad they got, and mind you, now they're getting a lot better. Um, but there was that lull after the Infinity Saga where it kind of went downhill a little bit, the multiverse saga. But I
Yeah.
still went to the cinema and watched every single one. So the guys make fun of me a lot because they say whatever I rate a movie, take 3 points off it, like out of 10. So if I rate something 7 out of 10, it's actually a 4 out of 10 because I'm generous. So with Supernatural, I too have not finished it, and it's not because I stopped liking it. It's just because it came out at a time where I was working 7 days a week, and I had
Yeah.
no time. I had little time to watch anything of
Except
my
for Law
own.
and Order. Except for Law and Order.
Don't you dare besmirch Law and Order. Law and Order is one of the few shows that I watch every week for 20 something years because I love Law and Order. I actually watched
Whoops, I
Law.
set him
The only
off.
two shows that are going at the moment are the main Law and Order and Law and Order SVU. And I
Yeah.
just watched the current shows yesterday. So shut up, Jamie, about that. But
I've watched a lot of Law and Order growing up.
Oh, look, it's funny, Jane. I haven't watched Star Trek Strange New Worlds, and I say to Jamie because it's too much of a commitment because there's 4 seasons or 3 seasons.
30 episodes.
But in saying that, like 4 months ago, I recently restarted watching Law and Order from the start, and that is 27 seasons. So that's a commitment issue. But anyway, Supernatural.
Yes.
When Jamie and our friend Chris sort of fell off at the end of season 5, where they kind of changed the whole writing team, I kept going.
Mhm.
Like there was a season, I'm not sure if this is after the Leviathan, but there's a season where they focus on the alphas, so like the alpha vampire, the alpha werewolf, the alpha everything, which I thought was great. The Leviathan thing, I enjoyed because I thought, okay, this is a different thing, and it does get better as you get through the episodes. I generally give TV series a lot more than just the 3 episodes if I like the previous season. So I did stick with Supernatural. I think I got to season 8, and then I started working like 7 days a week, and I just fell off. And I've been meaning to go back to it. I just haven't. But I can get why you fell off. I can
see. Yeah, one, you clearly have a lot of like show loyalty.
Yes,
I have very little.
Yeah.
Like if I am like, I watched like 5 or 6 seasons of Supernatural, and I love Supernatural. It is great writing. The rabbit foot episode is still my favorite episode to this day. And my wife and I will just look at each other and just be, my shoe.
Yeah.
Just as a reference to it for each other, because it's just so funny. It's a great show. They did a lot of things really well.
Yep.
But I have very low show loyalty. So if you have 3 or 4 episodes in a row that are just like very meh or bad to me, I'm going to stop watching because I got shit to do. So I'm going to spend my limited TV time focused on things that I'm actually enjoying.
Yeah.
That being said, I have noticed a trend with Star Treks that the first season is always really bad.
Wow.
And I got to muscle through all of those.
Yeah.
I think it's because it came out because the original, like even my favorite Star Trek show is Next Gen. 100%. I love Jean-Luc Picard. He's my favorite captain. Even though I do like Voyager is a close second.
Voyager is so good.
Captain Janeway, she is such. I have a lot of respect for that, and I'm like you. I came into Star Trek late. I came into Star Trek, about say 7 years ago, because my wife is like, you have to watch this. But yeah, I think it's because most of it was made like late 80s, early 90s, and back then, and especially for a sci-fi show, they didn't have the technology to make
TV
it.
was very different.
Yeah, exactly. It's not like it is now, like with the new shows like Starfleet Academy or Strange New Worlds or Discovery or anything, where they have massive budgets and CGI and everything.
Yeah.
I think it's because the technology wasn't up to par back when they were first made, and as the shows get on, they're like, okay, this is going well. We're going to give it more budget, and we're going to make it better, and we're going to give it better writing. And I think a lot of shows like back in the late 80s, early 90s have that problem with the first season.
Yeah. No, that makes a lot of sense. And like, I'm glad I stick with it, but it's rough in that first season.
It is. Definitely.
You got to force your way through it.
Yeah.
Or do what our friend Chris does. Our friend Chris did a rewatch. He said, I rewatched Stargate SG-1, and it was like in less than a month. And I'm going, no, you didn't. You skipped a whole lot of stuff. Oh yeah, I only watched the key moment episodes. I'm going 22 episodes in the season. Yeah. They do a lot of filler episodes. A lot of them are really good. It's just like, we need to do a bottle episode to save budget or whatever. And he's just like, he probably watched like 10 episodes in the season.
Yeah.
It's like, that's another show like Star Trek where people have been like, it's really good, like it's phenomenal. You got to check it out. I'm like, yeah, I probably will. Someday.
I was talking
that's a lot of episodes.
Yeah, I was talking with a mate recently, and we're going like, I think it's the kind of show you had to be there when it came out to really appreciate it. Yeah, because I watched an episode yesterday, and it was really cool. But it's low res, and it's everything looks like Canada. This is why I always reckon a lot of people should jump on Stargate Atlantis, because it's a completely different landscape. It's more horror based, different aliens.
Oh wow.
Yeah, Atlantis was really good, but then it turned into the last season was basically everyone else's contracts are running out on the other Stargate shows. So everyone's coming to Atlantis. It's just like, oh, you're coming here, everyone's turning up. And it's just like, okay.
It's the dream team.
Yeah.
Well, that was like me. These guys tried to, like, Jamie and Chris absolutely love, and Mike actually absolutely loves Stargate, and I'd watched
Everyone.
the movie a few times, which I absolutely love. And I think like 3 years ago they're like, you have to watch it. They physically made me watch it, and I'm like, okay. So I watched the movie again. I'm like, this is amazing. I watched the first couple of episodes of Stargate, the Prime show. I'm like, okay, this is good. And I got to episode 12, and I'm like, I am so tired of seeing the same forest in Canada as every different planet, just shot from a different angle. And I'm like, it just was too repetitive for me. And with 22 episodes a season, I just could not get into it.
Yep.
You're missing all the
Every
love.
show is not for every person.
Oh. And I'm not a massive sci-fi guy anyway. Like I've watched all the Star Wars movies, except for The Last Jedi. I can never get through that, but that's another podcast episode. I've watched all the Star Trek movies now. I don't mind sci-fi. I'm all for it, but I just can't watch 10 seasons of 22 episodes of sci-fi and be excited about it. I just really can't. Give me 30, 40 seasons of Law and Order, and I'm your man. I'm there. I know all about it. I'm down for Law and Order. I make my cats do the little dance when they're playing the intro music. I can pretty much do all the intro music humming off by heart, but yeah, I just can't get into a lot of sci-fi.
It's
and
okay.
It is a big commitment.
You don't have to like good things, Ryan. It's okay. You don't
Oh
have to
my
like
God. Oh my God. Also, and the guys make fun of me for this, I'm a massive wrestling fan as well. So I
don't make fun of you for that.
13 hours of wrestling a week that I have to watch. And it's only now that I'm not working that I'm not working that I'm actually able to watch it all live and not having to binge 40 hours before the monthly pay-per-view to make sure I know what's going on. But
nice.
Yeah, so I have to watch 13 hours of wrestling a week.
This is why Ryan is so busy. Wrestling and 27 seasons of Law and Order.
No, that's so 27 seasons of the main season. Then you've got 28 seasons of SVU. You've got 10 seasons of Criminal Intent. You've got 5 seasons of Organized Crime. And then you've got the Toronto Criminal Intent, which is 3 seasons. Then you've got the UK version of Law and Order, which is another 15 seasons. So, I mean, come and see me when you've done that.
All off the dome. Nice.
You know what? I've watched every episode of every show up until the ones that were released on Thursday night over in the States and Friday night in Australia. So I'm down, man. I could be a lawyer. I could be a lawyer. That much information I know.
You're gonna get in trouble with the law and be like, Your Honor, I'm gonna represent myself.
Yeah,
I have 30 years of experience.
Exactly. I'm gonna refer you back to Law and Order season 3, episode 7 for my argument. Here you go.
10-minute mark, 30 seconds.
He's gonna walk around with a tape deck that whenever he walks through a door, it goes gung gung.
I'm for this. I'm very for this.
Ask the next question, Ryan. Ask the next question.
I know. We're only 55 minutes into the episode and we haven't got to the end of it. So,
we haven't even talked about your book.
I'm sorry. We're jabbering.
Doubtful. And I've had too much energy drink, so I'm good. All right, question number 4 is, what is your zombie apocalypse plan?
My zombie apocalypse plan is, so like I said, I live in United States in Texas. I am going to travel. Actually, no, I'm going to leave Texas because I live too near the city.
All right. Okay.
You want to be in a zombie apocalypse? Get away from the cities. Yeah. I'm going to make my way to New Hampshire, where my in-laws live in the mountains on their land with tons of space. And we are going to create a commune of some kind of whoever family can make it here. Yeah. We're going to try to live it out and see what happens. That's the plan.
Are they aware of this? Or are you just going to rock up?
I don't know. My wife and I came up with this plan literally years ago, just kind of having fun with it and talking about it, especially when Walking Dead was super popular.
Yeah.
I don't remember if we ever told them our plan, but
Well,
this is the
I think you'd
plan.
kind of expect it. And if they're that far out, they probably wouldn't know that something's happening,
Quite possibly. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. They are on the internet. They do know the
Okay.
world is going on
Yeah.
around them, but
Yeah.
they live like in the middle of the New Hampshire mountains.
Oh, that's cool.
And I'm gonna have to learn a whole bunch of new skills, but it's a good place to wait out the apocalypse.
Cool. That's it.
I hope no zombies are listening to our podcast because a
Like,
lot of people say that they're going to do that, and
Yep.
if any zombies are listening, they're going to be like, "Well, we're just going to go to
New Hampshire.
I mean, I'm going to Miami.
Yeah. It'd be funny if there's someone out there working on a zombie virus that programs them to leave the cities.
yeah,
That would be weird.
That would be weird,
Get like an Attack on Titan situation, just wall off all the cities.
Yes, yeah, and at least you won't have the massive titans that are going to come and crush those walls, because I honestly don't think there's an episode of that show where some sort of wall does not get broken down. And I'm like, why do you keep building these walls? The titans are just too big, and they're just going to step into it and break it every single episode.
Because the next wall will do its
Jobs.
job. The next wall will do its job.
Oh yeah, but it never does. Spoiler alert, it never does.
They're just trying to keep the people busy with construction jobs. It's like the wall gets broken down. We pay people to put it back up. They get to buy food and pay their taxes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that. It's just like, subverting their expectations, like the Ryan Johnson way of subverting expectations. Just build the wall and take your mind off the massive titans that are coming to devour us all.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah. All right. The last icebreaker question. We got there in an hour, but we got there.
That's how you know it's going to be a good episode, when we can't
stop
we spend
talking.
an hour before we talk about your books.
Yeah.
Nice.
All right. Dr. Emmett Brown leaves his DeLorean parked in your driveway. Where or when are you going?
Ooh. I have a follow-up question. This is the DeLorean, so I assume time is not deterministic. I can change things.
It's
Yeah. But also you can only, like, we get a lot of people, and there's a lot of, and I say this with love, selfish people out there that do the whole, I give you one wish, I'm going to wish for 3 more wishes. You know what I mean? Like, you can because plutonium is very hard to come by. Not really, but yes, it is. Back in the 90s or 80s when the movie came out, you can only have one trip, and you can only come back exactly where you left. So if you don't want to mess with anything, you're fine, but you do have the ability to change time if you like.
Yeah.
Ooh, okay. I'm actually gonna give like kind of really real answer here. I would go back in time and visit myself and just tell myself that, hey, everything is going to work out. Don't worry so much. And start writing right now.
Yep.
Nice. Lovely.
Yeah.
So it's like a nice version of Biff, old man Biff visiting young Biff, but a nice version. Like,
not going back and finding out the results of sports, or telling yourself,
Listen here.
in the 90s, buy stock in Google or something like that.
Maybe I'll slip that in too. That'd be nice.
A couple of
buy Bitcoin.
Buy Bitcoin. Oh God, and sell it quickly. Don't hold on to it till it tanks. But there's 2 movies, an original and a sequel, that are not that well known in comedy. It's called Hot Tub Time Machine, and
I've heard of them.
One of the guys, he has such a crap life, and he ends up staying in the 80s, and then it's at the end of the movie when they all go back to where they came from. It's like, Google's not Google. It's because the guy's name's Lou. It's called Lugal because he created it. And, the band Motley Crue was his favorite band, but it's now Motley Lou because he founded the band. And, all these things, he's rich and powerful beyond all his dreams. And, it's just funny, that's something, and it's totally something I would do. I would go back in time and say, buy stock. Just not because I'm selfish, like I wouldn't take trillions of dollars. I just want enough money to live comfortably and not have to, because everyone's main stress in life is money over
Yeah.
bills. If you've got to go to, especially in America, if you've got to go to hospital, it's going to cost you a lot of money. If
Yeah.
you want to live comfortably, especially if you live in Sydney, if you want to buy a house, it's going to cost
Mm.
you a lot of money. I recently in 2024/2025 did a 10-month stint in hospital. I had to go to hospital. I was in there for 10 months, and I went
Nice.
public. And Australia's healthcare system is amazing because I was in hospital for 10 months and I did not pay a single cent.
I did.
Nice.
Yeah.
Thanks,
I've
Jamie.
worked. I'm 44 and I worked since I was 15, and
Yeah.
I've only not worked for the last 2 years. So I paid my tax.
Yeah, you technically did pay for it.
But yeah, like that's if I was living in America, I would not have been able to go and get the help that I needed and be able to live my life now as a better person because of that. And I think I would just make enough, go back and just tell myself, just do this, but only make enough money so you can live comfortably. So I could own my own house. So I had a chunk
Mhm.
of savings just in case something went wrong. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I don't want
Yeah.
to be insanely rich. I just want to be comfortable and not have the stress and anxiety that everyone has nowadays because of money.
Yeah.
Cool.
Like not having to worry about your bills and stuff is very freeing.
Yeah, 100%. And like I said, I was working 7 days a week, 7 solid days, like Monday to Friday, 9 hours a day, and then Saturday and Sunday, 10 hours a day, and it still wasn't enough to live comfortably. And I ended up just overworking myself and burning myself out and everything. So yeah, money 100% will just have enough to live comfortably and not have to worry.
Yeah.
Nice.
So if you could do that for him when you get the DeLorean, that'd be great.
Yeah, if you could, that'd be awesome.
I'll just take that 27-hour flight back into like 1990 something and just gotcha.
Like, who are you, crazy man?
Actually, can you swing by Ryan when in the 90s and get him to watch Stargate so he appreciates it? Because when
You know what? It's a favor for each of you.
Okay, cool.
Ryan, you're gonna be rich, but you'll have watched Stargate.
I don't know if it's worth being rich to have to watch Stargate. I don't know.
You had to be there though.
Yeah, no.
Who knows?
Well,
I may get a visit from Michael, and it'll be him telling me to go watch wrestling.
Man, you know what? Jamie is a true friend because the other day, now with AI doing what it does, it's being used for what it should be, and that's making funny cat videos and making. At the moment, there's a trend with the original Ninja Turtles movie character doing all these different things, like the movie The Lord of the Rings with Ninja Turtles, like Twister with Ninja Turtles. But there was an AI video of the Ninja Turtles in the WWE in Raw, like the Monday night show, Monday Night Raw, and I said it to Jamie, and you would watch wrestling if it was like this, and he actually said to me, because he's my friend, if I asked him to watch wrestling, he would watch it. That's how much of a good friend Jamie is, because I know how big a commitment it is to watch wrestling. But
too busy writing, man. Too busy writing.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel that.
Anyway, thank you for sticking around long enough for us to finally talk about you and your writing.
That's the end of the episode. Thanks for joining us, Michael.
Thanks for having me, everybody. Goodbye.
So the first question off the bat is, what is your author origin story? How'd you get into it? How'd you get to this point where you've got a book coming out?
Yeah, so I have loved stories for most of my life. It's a classic story. You've probably heard a million different versions of it that you just fell in love with reading very early on, tried writing off and on for many years, never really did anything with it. And then I read the Lycanius trilogy as I was getting into like my late 20s. And I got through the trilogy. I love that series. It is an excellent mix of what could be considered like close to typical medieval fantasy, but there's time travel. And I was like, holy shit, that's awesome. And then I was reading about James Islington. I never know if it's Islington or Islington. I'm going to go with Islington. I think that's right. But I was reading his bio, and it was talking about how he started writing around the time he turned 30. And I'm getting into my late 20s, and I'm approaching 30, and I'm like, it's not too late. I could do this. Which to me now feels like the dumbest thought to have. It is never too late
Yeah.
to start writing. Like, if you want to do it and you are 62, go for it. Like, there is still time. But yeah, I did that, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna write a book. I've always wanted to, but it's not gonna happen unless I actually do it. And through the encouragement of my wife, I joined a writing group, and through that writing group, Writers Anonymous, I wrote the first 3 or 4 drafts of Crownfall. And then I moved to where I live now, and I just kept pumping at it. I kept working at it. My wife became my editor, and she was ruthless, and I appreciated it because now the story is done. And there were like gaps between there where I took like 8, sometimes 9 months off where I didn't write. But then 2 years ago, I was like, no, I want this. And really admitting that to myself was a big leap because I think a lot of people have the fancy, the dream of writing and becoming an author and trying to make a go of it. But until you actually try to do it and like put your all into it, it can stay a dream. It can stay this perfect thing inside your head, just like a story can. But when you're finally getting it down onto the page and you're finally pursuing it, it's a whole nother ballgame. There's a chance of failure. And I think admitting that to yourself and like really taking that leap is really difficult for a lot of people, and it was for me. But then I kind of realized that I like writing stories. No matter what effect I have on the world, I'm going to keep doing it. And either one or two things are going to happen. I'm going to succeed, and it's going to be great. Or I'm going to die, and I don't care because I'll be dead.
Yeah.
And those are the only two outcomes that are possible from this because that is what I have committed myself to. And this is just the first step of a dream made real, and I'm super excited.
Yeah. And I can tell just from the social media posts and stuff like that, you're putting a lot into it. So that in itself can attract a lot of people to the book, to your work and stuff like that. Because I see a lot of people that post like once a month and they're like, why aren't I selling any books? And it's just like you gotta keep pushing, you gotta keep going, you gotta keep posting, you gotta
Yeah. That's
people you
kind of
want.
the big thing, especially with indie. It's like no one's gonna sell your book but you. Like
Yeah.
writing the book is the easy part.
Yeah.
And that sucks to say because I just finished writing it and like, man, that was hard.
Yeah.
But now I'm about to start the hard part. And that starts with like going on shows and putting myself out there and trying to talk into a camera and feel comfortable doing it. And it takes time. There are definitely some awkward things and trying to like push myself to do it. Like, oh, that was so dumb. Why did I put that out there?
Yeah.
But people seem to resonate when you put your real self out there. So I'm like, okay, this is me. I'm a dorky theater guy with way too much showmanship. Let's try this.
Oh, well, you got endless ways to market then. If you can
try it.
Well, put it this way: it just by talking to you for the last hour, I've heard nothing about your book other than you've written it and your journey, especially just then your journey to writing it. And I know I'm probably not the best person to compare it to because I do pretty much buy every book of the author that we have on. But I was just looking at my phone a minute ago, and our listeners and Jamie knows what that means. I have bought the book already without knowing a single thing about it, and that is because we spent the last hour getting to know you and the icebreakers and everything, and the passion that you have behind that. I don't care what the book's about. I want to read it because of how passionate you are and you were learning about you as a person. And that's why we do the icebreaker questions. That's why we do, this podcast, not because we're making money from it at all. We're not. But we love talking to people and getting, if we can get 10 people or 15 people to buy your book just from this episode, then to me that's a win for us. That's why we do this podcast. I've joked, and I'm not joked, it's serious. I've said my TBR list is currently sitting at 170 books in my on my tablet. But because I do read 3 hours, minimum 3 hours a night, I get through the books. Like I've already read 10 books this year, and my goal is 50, and we're just halfway through March. So,
Nice.
I love reading, and I've said it before. I don't read traditional authors anymore, hardly ever. It's all indie, and it's all been amazing. I have not read a bad book by an indie author since we started this podcast 5 years ago.
Thank you. Like, greatly appreciate it. That's really cool that you do it while we're recording.
Yeah. I will forget.
Thank you both for doing this.
Yeah. Oh, well, we do, like we used to, before Jamie had to do this annoying thing called having a job. We there was a period for almost a year where, because I'm not working at the moment because spoiler alert, I lost my leg 2 years ago due to a really bad infection. So I'm an amputee below the knee. So I'm still doing physio and it's all good. I'm positive about it. I'm not, I'm okay with it. I'm still doing physio and learning how to walk and everything. So that's why I'm not working. But we would record, sometimes 3 to 4 episodes a week because we just had that many people wanting to come on and, that many authors. So my TBR list just kept going up and up and up and up and up. But I have not read a bad indie book. And that is such a compliment to you guys because, I'm a really hardcore reader. If I don't like something, I'm going to stop, 5 chapters in. I will not read 300-400 pages of a book that I don't like. And I have not read a bad indie book yet. So I'm absolutely loving indie authors.
Challenge accepted. No.
No, thank you both for having this show and having this platform for us to go on because
I love
indie
it.
authors, being an indie author, I feel like would be impossible without podcasts and shows for people to go on and talk about their books and everything because that would be really hard.
Yeah.
Oh, and this, honestly, recording this podcast is the best part of my week. Like, I absolutely love talking to new people. It's probably evident, but I have worked my job field with customer service for 30 years. I love talking to people. So,
nice.
And I love reading. And honestly, this podcast has got me back into reading as much as I read now. So I can credit that.
Excellent.
And Jamie, no challenge accepted because I read all your stuff literally sometimes chapter by chapter. So I don't want any of that crap.
No promises.
No self-deprecation.
Just before we jump into your book, because it's fresh in my mind, me and Michael are actually working on a project together.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Yes.
Are we allowed to talk about this now? Or?
I don't think we are.
No.
It hasn't been announced yet, but we are working on a project together.
We'll say
there's
that.
a bunch of us. Yes.
I'll tell you off
I'm
air.
very excited for it.
I'll tell you off air. Off air.
I was going to say, because you know me, Jamie, that you can't say that and not tell me what it is because
I'll tell you off air.
I will pester you. I like to joke. Jamie wrote a prequel to his book Ancora, and I generally like to take full credit for it because I kept pestering him saying, you need to write a prequel about this character. You need to write it. And then he wrote it, and it's like double the size of his actual mainline title. And I take full credit for that.
Yeah.
Nice. Inspiration comes from anywhere.
It's annoying.
Promotion. It is, I guess, and I have a copy of it right here.
Lovely.
Nice.
And that's because I inspired that.
And Ryan's in it. That book actually I put out a post saying who wants to be in the book, and I think I got at least 13, 15 indie authors are in there.
That's cool.
And Ryan,
I've noticed that a trend with a lot of people do that. Adrian's Mushroom Blues has it in music cassette tapes. The Incident at Peeling Head with E.L. Montague, referencing Mike Molman. Yeah, there's a lot of those.
Well,
there's also Yeah, but it's still a damn good
Yeah,
story.
yeah.
Like it's dark, but I
Well,
like it.
it's just good to have names, you know. I know,
Yeah.
like, and back on Supernatural for 5 seconds. This a lot of the characters in this show are named after producers and people that work on the show.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh, nice. I didn't know that.
so like Uncle Bobby, I think it's Uncle Bobby.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
he.
Yeah.
You see Bobby or Robert blah 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 pop up in the credits, and you're like, oh, you just use we
Oh,
need a character
nice.
name. I love stuff like that.
Yeah, you got to
Um,
pull from what you know. And right now I know these 30 people.
yeah, that's it. Um, all right, I'm gonna bring up the cover.
Yep.
We're
Oh,
gonna
I'm so
talk about
excited.
your
I love
book.
this cover.
It is stunning. Um,
Yeah, I love it.
I am
Massive comic book fan here, so I'm all about the art, and you can tell clearly what kind of story it is from just looking at the front cover. Um, but one question I do like to ask is this did you actually design this cover yourself, or did you outsource it to get someone else to create the cover for you? How did that all come about?
So I have a Google Doc of what I wanted onto the cover, and I sent that to my artist, Katerina Belikova. I hope I'm not messing up her last name. She's known as Ninja Joe on Instagram. Check her out. Her art is spectacular. She mostly does like a lot of sci-fi things. She'll do some video game stuff and like album covers, but she'll do book covers too. And I met her through Adrian M. Gibson, who did the interior and exterior design. So all of the lettering and everything here on the inside and the outside, that was done by Adrian, who also did excellent work.
nice.
Wow.
Adrian has kind of become like a mentor to me in all of this. He has been very gracious and answering all of my anxiety-filled questions on how all of this works. And when I came around to starting to look for a cover, he was like, well, what kind of cover do you want? And I talked to him and I showed him my favorite cover, which is The Last Mortal Bonds by Brian Staveley. It's the second book in the Unhewn Throne trilogy. An amazing book series, amazing author. Definitely check it out if you haven't. Um, and he told me about Katerina, who had a very similar art style, and was like, perfect. And then he ran me through like, make a document, have these things in it. And in my document, I have a picture where it's just three like stock photo figures in roughly those three poses,
Mm,
uh, just smacked onto the cover. And then I just typed up Crownfall on the top, Michael Vadney on the bottom.
mm,
And then I went through the design doc and I'm like, the character on the right, his name is Kindel. He looks like this. He has these clothes. This is the hair that I imagine with him.
mm,
And he is forming a magical dagger in his hand.
Mhm.
And then I went, this is Amara. This is what she looks like. This is the
mm,
armor I want her wearing. This is the sword I want her holding.
mm,
And then I went to Gellert on the left, and I was like, he's a little taller than everybody else. He has these glasses on, they're orange, and he looks roughly like this. And Katerina took that, and she just went like draft by draft by draft, slowly filling in the details. And she would send me a copy and be like, "This is where I'm at right now. This is how it looks. What do you think so far? Should I keep going in this direction?" And like 99% of the time, like, yes, this is great. Everything's perfect. Please keep going. And then every once in a while, I'll give it a little bit of feedback and she would
mm,
adjust and it was perfect. And we went through that process back and forth about like what the background would look like. And then once we finally got the cover art, I talked to Adrian about the lettering and again, we looked at other book covers about like, this is what I like about this.
mm.
I love this color and just mixing in with this like bluish teal lettering with these bright orange crystals was just making it pop and I was absolutely in love with it. This is now my favorite cover. I'm biased as hell, but it
Yeah,
is my favorite. It is so good.
yeah. I
So,
love it when a color comes together and you just like.
mhm.
So did it turn out better than you imagined in your head?
A million
Yeah,
times.
yeah,
Like I knew I was going to get a good fantasy cover because I'd seen Katarina's art
yeah,
and she's phenomenal. She's got that very like rough painterly style that I'm really
Yeah.
into.
yeah.
And when she finally came out with the final product, I was like, holy shit, this is way beyond my expectations,
Yeah.
worth every penny that she deserves all of it and more. Like, I
Mm.
would not be surprised if you see more Katarina covers in the near future.
Yeah, no, she does look it's incredible. I
It
almost
really is.
I almost wish to kind of secretly wish, even though look my Ancora cover I love, great
Mhm.
artists. But Katarina could probably done a really good job of that too, you know. And it's too late now
Yeah,
because I'm started a series and I'm going like I want to use the same artist to keep the series the same, you know. But
yeah, that's fair. Like,
yeah,
you always have the option of like rebranding and recovering, but
yeah,
like
that's true.
if your artist is doing great, keep
Yeah,
going with that.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I really like this cover because you get that, you get that feeling of these guys are a team. They're solid. Each of them has unique abilities that I'm sure they bring to the table.
Mm.
You've got Amara who's standing strong with the sword in her hand at the front. And then you've got the other two guys. I for whatever reason, and I apologize if it's not what it's meant, but the guy on the left hand side. I'm really
Hmm.
getting, Kid Flash vibes from him because I'm a massive comic book writer. Just with the
Nice.
orange glasses and the way that he's dressed, I'm like, this could be a small superhero team. Like that's the impression I'm getting from it. So I really, really like, and I love that art style. The hand painted kind of look.
Yeah.
It's probably one of the better covers that I've seen. It really tells you what to expect from the story in images without having to even read the back cover. So that's what you want. You want
Yeah.
it to jump out and grab people in the bookshop
Mm.
or on Amazon and
Yeah.
go, "You're going to want to read this because look at this."
You
Yeah,
should you
I
should
I
you
love
should
it
put
so
that on the
much.
cover. You should put that on the cover. You want to read
You should
this.
read this.
You
Because
should
of
read.
this.
Because look at this. You should read.
Well, I was very fortunate to get blurbs from the full SFF Addicts hosts.
Oh,
On
that's
the front,
cool.
I have MJ Kuhn, and on
Yeah.
the back there, I have Greta Kelly and Adrian. And they'll tell you it should be on your TBR. That's what MJ says right there on the front.
Yeah.
Listen to her, people.
Yeah,
That's
no,
just that.
I'm really excited to dive into it. My main two um, favorite writing genres is horror for sure, and then fantasy because
Nice.
fantasy. I was lucky enough in high school in year 11 and 12 to be able to read Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring as part of my schooling,
Hmm.
which was I always say I felt like that was cheating because it was so easy to read and such a great story. And then I had to write
Oh yeah.
an essay on it, which was way longer than it should have been. But yeah, so fantasy was a big thing in me growing up, and also my grandmother getting me into David Eddings, which I've spoken about on the podcast a million times. But
Mhm.
I absolutely love David Eddings as a fantasy writer, and I'm really, really looking forward to reading this book.
I really appreciate that. I'm super looking forward to it. It's getting out there with like art copies right now, and I'm starting to see it in the wild in people's hands.
Mm.
Um, like by the time this episode airs, though, I think I'll have the physical proofs in hand,
Yeah.
and I'm just so looking forward to that. I know it's going to be emotional, and I'm very excited.
Awesome. So why don't you tell us
Mhm.
about what's in the book? We've looked at the cover. What's in there? What's the
Yes.
plot? What's the story? We know a little bit about the characters, but
Ye-
what's the
Yes.
overall
So
story?
Crownfall is about a thief, a noble lady, and a magical engineer as they are pulled into revolting against the viceroy of their nation,
Mm.
who is about to complete a 10-year plan for domination.
That's pretty cool. And it's what's
Oh,
funny is that when you named those characters and who they were, I knew exactly who they were. Like,
yep.
you
Yeah,
know, I know the thief.
the cover tells you.
No, it tells you, and that's great. Like, I go, you've been stereotypes, but cool stereotypes, you know.
Hey,
And
people love a good thief. They
Yeah,
love a badass woman, which
yeah,
is that is what Amara is.
yeah,
She's a woman that gets shit done.
yeah,
And we love tinkerers. We love
yeah.
Mhm.
magical engineers. I love all those things. That's why it's in my book.
Yeah,
So
100%. Me and Jamie and our group of friends, we play D&D once a month. I've, been all of these characters. I'm currently,
Yep.
a thief character, a stealthy, character who's lived on the streets, who have to steal to survive. I've been that barbarian, badass, like Amara looks
Yeah.
like, and I've been the tinkerer, the magician, the sorcerer, all that kind of thing. You're right. They're characters we all love and
yeah,
want to
Mhm.
imagine being, and you've got them all in the team from the get go. So yeah, 100% behind that.
now
Yeah, I play a weekly D&D game where I'm a
Oh,
paladin
nice,
right now. I love it.
weekly.
nice.
Oh, I'd love to do weekly,
I'm
but
very fortunate.
yeah, you are very fortunate. Yeah.
Yeah.
So did you who was the first character that came to mind when you were creating these characters?
Ooh, Kindelheim was the first character, the
Okay.
thief on the
The
right
thief.
side.
Yeah.
He was the very first character that came to mind. Who he is now is a little different than who he started out to be. Like, I knew I wanted him to be this kind of like angry, kind of vengeance-seeking
Yeah.
character.
Mhm.
But what came out along the way was kind of like this witty scoundrel as well. And the blend of the two was something really fun to make and to kind of emerge. In the earlier drafts, he was just an angry little rage monster. But
Yeah.
as I kept going more and more, he started having this kind of like sarcastic wit that I really enjoyed developing.
Mhm.
And then
Awesome.
after that, I would say Amara was
Yeah.
the second character, and she stayed strong throughout the whole thing. Like, she
Wow.
is a strong, independent, cutthroat woman who,
Mm.
when one of my earliest alpha readers described her as a spider queen, I was just like, yes,
Yeah.
that is
Oh, okay.
perfect.
Yeah.
And then
Nice.
Gellert on the left, he changed drastically. Like,
Mm.
he started out as kind of like this no nonsense, older mid 40s, like Templar kind of
Yeah.
character. And then I made him much younger in his mid 20s and turned him into like an engineering prodigy. And I was like,
Nice.
this is way different, but it
Yeah.
serves the story so much more. And each of them
Cool.
have their own story that they're going through, but it's all various facets of trust.
Yeah.
Learning to trust other people, learning to trust yourself, and learning to become trustworthy.
So
Yeah.
do they start together, or like any fantasy, they come together throughout the story?
They come together throughout the
Yeah.
story.
Cool. And is it multi POV kind of thing, like from each of their
Yes,
perspectives?
those three characters are the three main POV characters. There are no other POVs
Yeah.
throughout the whole thing. I don't know if I recommend that for a debut novel, people. Just saying, if you're not there yet,
Yeah.
keep it simple, because it was definitely a long road to figure out how to make that happen.
Yeah.
And I think if I started with a simpler POV structure, I could have gotten this out a lot sooner.
Yeah.
But lessons learned, and I'm really happy with
Yeah.
what was produced by this.
Yeah. Cool. I'm super intrigued. I'm super intrigued. Um,
That's the goal.
that's the goal. No, we do a spin-off series called Wort where we judge books by their covers. I actually wear a wig now. It's pretty hilarious. And that's my go-to
Nice.
word. I'm like, I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued, which usually means I'm going to read
That's
it. You know?
yeah, like that's what a book cover is there for. Like,
Yeah.
I did an episode on Author Adjacent with Andy Peliquin where we
Mm.
were talking about like the four aspects of how to package your book to sell.
Yeah.
And really the harsh truth is if you don't have a good cover, you're
Mhm.
going to lose 90% of your potential right there.
Yeah.
Because that's the first thing people see. It's
Yeah.
eye-catching, and you want to be able to look at it and go, this is the type of story that this is.
Yeah.
Mhm. Oh,
And that's
100%.
what I wanted
And
out of this.
before we started this podcast, that was how I picked what I was going to read. 100% the
Yeah.
cover. That's how I discovered the authors that I was extremely loyal to and still read to this day, is from the cover, because the cover. I mean, I'm old enough to have been at, you have to go into a library or a bookstore to pick what you want to read. So the cover is going to be, the thing that jumps out at you. especially
Yeah.
for younger readers who don't have the time to sort of read the back of every single book to decide what they want to read. It's the cover that jumps out at you. And I can definitely tell this cover definitely jumps out to me. I mean, I identified with a few things on the front cover immediately when I actually bought it before even, seeing it on this scale. And I really feel like this is going to be a really good read. But
Thank
as
you.
Jamie will attest to, I may want more. So is this going to be part of a ongoing series, or is it a standalone, or are you planning on working in this world a lot more than what you already have been?
So I am very realistic. Oh, I'm punching my mic. I am very like realistically and goal oriented, and I knew that for my debut novel, I wanted to write a story that could stand by itself if it needed to. And that's exactly what I wanted for this one. I'm intending Crownfall to be a standalone novel, but if the masses come chasing me down and they're like, "We want more Crownfall," there's plenty of stories to tell here, and I'm very excited to get to them. But until that happens, I am already moving on to a new series. I just started it last week with the world building and the outlining, and I'm very excited for it. It's still going to be the same kind of like noble, dark fantasy feel because that's what I love. So that's what I'm going to keep writing. But I'm very excited for this next project. It's going to be a blast.
Well, I've just put a note in my phone to make sure I annoy Michael Vadney enough that he writes more in the world, because as Jamie will attest, I will definitely
I hear it
do.
works.
It really does, because I got what I wanted out of Jamie with writing that prequel. and I've said to Jamie about, the prequel, spoiler alert, there's still a massive gap between the end of the prequel and the start of Ancora. So I'm like, hey, where's my sequel to the prequel? Keep writing it because it's so good.
There's more to go on here.
That is exactly, I haven't even read the book, and that is exactly what I'll be doing with you, Michael. I will be pestering you. I pester
I'm
all
looking
my
forward
friends.
to it.
I pester Janelle Sheikey, and she will attest to that when she's on the show in a few weeks. I pester her for more. And yeah, so 100%. I haven't read a single word of the book, but I'm predicting to be in your inbox, sliding into your DM, purely not for the reason that most people slide into DMs, but purely for the reason of getting more of that world.
Yeah.
My DMs are open to you.
So this other book you're working on, is it going to be set in the same universe, or are you creating a whole different world?
So all my books that I have planned, I want them all to be within the same universe.
Nice.
Not necessarily the same place. I
Yeah.
want them to be related, though.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
Yes.
how they are related may never come to obvious light, but I know that they are. And if you look, you will find the correlations. I'm not going to hide them very well, people.
Yeah.
You will be able to find them.
So it'll be like Star Trek Lower Decks, Are they gonna
Yeah. Like, well, the problem that I want to avoid is I don't want to create the House of Cards. This is something that Sanderson has done very well with avoiding, and Marvel did not do a very good job of avoiding, where oh, it's okay. It's this whole idea of you have this new story that came out, but you need to have ingested the first 30 stories to really understand what is happening here.
Yeah.
And I want to avoid that. So
Yeah.
I plan on having my stories connected to each other.
Yeah.
Will they have like heavy crossovers? Maybe someday. But just know that they are related, they are connected. And if that comes into a more solid thing in the future, we'll see.
And that is good for people like me who, even if there's a small connection to a previous media, whether that be movie, book, comic, whatever, I'm going to get it. I'm going to ingest it. I'm going to sit there and I'm going to be reading it, and I'm going to have that smile on my face because I know what that's about. And prime example, and I won't go too much into it, but Janelle Sheikey's new book, Spider, which I just finished. It came out on March 10th, and I finished it in 2 days, which was amazing.
Nice.
There's a reference to her previous book, The Clatterman, in there. Let's talk about an urban legend. Let's not talk, It's a little subtle reference in there, and I smiled because I know what that's about, and that's what I love. Not everyone is going to know what that reference is, but I do, and because I'm a
it makes you feel special.
Yeah,
it does, yeah, and I'm a massive completionist. I will consume everything in the same universe, like as I mentioned with the Marvel stuff. So with you, if your next book has a little tiny little, nod to the previous one, that makes my day. That absolutely makes me smile.
It will be there. This next book I'm planning to be the start of a series. I don't know if it's going to be 3 books or 5. I'm undecided. I'm still trying to outline the overarching plot of the whole series and seeing how much I can cram in.
So it'll be 6.
It'll be 6. Make it 5. Make it 5.
It'll be 6.
You guarantee you have a guaranteed sale with me if you make it 5. You'll get at least someone who's going to buy all 5 books. So just make it 5.
Appreciate it, Ryan.
I've already started. It's now no longer 3 books. It's going to be 5.
Yeah. You're going to get a knock on your door.
He's going to slide in my DMs again.
Exactly.
You're going to knock on your door, and there's going to be some guys with suits. They're going to crack the neck, and they go, "Make it 5."
we represent.
I'll know what they're talking about.
You will. I will spend my entire money savings on getting those 2 men to come to your house and say, "We represent Ryan Haig. We want 5 books now."
Yeah, it'll be John Wick himself.
Yeah.
Whoa.
I'm in trouble.
You're in trouble. Yeah. Cool. All right. We have a little bit of a new segment here because we got a lot of authors listening in. And because you do your own interview shows, like I'm gonna ask, what's the best piece of advice you've heard from someone that's been on your show for writers?
Ooh, from someone who's come onto my show. I would say, honestly, that episode that I did with Andy Peliquin was incredibly informative. It was like a lot of the episodes that I do, I talk about people's origins, and we do like dig into like a specific subject in the second episode that they're on. But this one was just so tangible into the marketing of your book, which is something that kind of feels like a lot of a black box to a lot of people. It's very unknown of, okay, there's so much information on how to write a story, how an author got into writing, but how do I market this? How do I package it? And just really talking to him about how covers work and what your cover needs to do and why certain covers don't work was incredibly useful. Like, I was very fortunate that I've kind of stumbled into a good cover for my book and that it sells exactly what I'm going for. And I will put most of that credit to Katerina and Adrian, who have been phenomenal. They really guided me into a direction that really created a phenomenal cover for Crownfall. But it was in talking with Andy that I really learned why those covers work and why certain covers don't, and why like your genre really matters for what kind of cover that you're going to do, whether it's going to be a graphic design cover or a character cover or a photorealistic cover. Like, adhering to your genre conventions is rewarded by readers.
Yeah.
Like, yes, you got to put your own unique twist on it. And I'll even extend this to like the writing itself. Like, if you write fantasy, sticking with fantasy conventions. If you write horror, sticking to horror conventions. Readers reward that. And I hear that time and time again in all these interviews that I do. And I know that's hard for a lot of artists because you're like, but I'm a unique little snowflake and I would love to create my mark on reality. And you can still do that.
Yeah.
But also give the people what they want, because then that will motivate you and that will churn into success that you can then turn into the next thing and then the next thing and then the next thing. And then when people are trusting you, that they know they can give you their time and their money and you will spend it well. Yeah. You can do really creative things.
Yeah, that's it. It's finding that balance between trying to stand out but still stay within the boundaries of, what people love,
Oh yeah. Like, romance is a really good example of that, and romantasy as well, is like they have very steady and consistent beats to their stories, and their readers love it.
Yeah.
And they will read a million different versions of the same beats over and over again.
Yeah.
And the same is true for fantasy and horror. You
Mhm.
just have to give it your own unique spin. And oftentimes that unique spin comes just from simply you writing it, because you are a unique individual of experiences that no one else has.
Yeah.
And you'll get that like little special sauce just by you doing it.
Yeah.
100%, and I can attest to that, being a massive reader. You know, as I said, I love horror. I started reading my now favorite horror author, who I always mention, Janelle Sheikey. I read her book, The Clatterman, first, which was her current release at the time, and that in a genre where I love. It's you know, it's like your Friday the 13th. It's like your Halloween. There's a character that has a really violent backstory. There's, you know, a group of young people that go to a cabin in the woods that has been told, like you said, with the romance, been told 100 million times, but she put her own spin on that, while still staying true to the tropes in horror about those kind of stories that everyone loves, but she made it her own. And that's exactly what you're talking about there. And, you know, it works because, yes, I went into it knowing I'm going to love this book because I love this kind of horror story. And then I read it and I'm like, wow, I really love her writing style as well. And that made me go and read all the other books. So I can definitely, I'm not a writer, but I can definitely agree from the reader's perspective that everything you just said is 100% true.
Thank you. Like, I've thought about this a lot.
You've spoken with a lot of authors too.
Yes.
All right. What we're going to do now is we're going to wrap the show up with a game. Just to give you some more ideas, Michael, in case you want to write.
Okay.
Last episode, which will be next episode, we gave our author guest 2 new story ideas. So,
okay.
So I'm going to bring up the graph.
Right.
Yeah, this is fun. It's actually taken on a life of its own. This game, we get, you know, it's become quite popular.
Very popular.
You know, we initially had, I think we had the option of playing the game or answering our bonus questions, and everyone picked the games to the fact that we just got rid of the bonus questions and just play the game.
Yeah,
because it's become that popular. So and we are not joking. It may give you an idea for your next book.
Yes.
Because a lot of the time with the genre, the number that the person gives us, it falls into the genre that they write. So you never know.
You never know. Yes.
Genre blending is very popular, and often you have a subgenre within your genre. Like fantasy has so much romantic subplots. Yeah. They're huge.
Yeah.
And also fantasy has horror elements. Fantasy can have sci-fi elements.
Yes.
You know, Jamie is the perfect example of that. His book Ancora is survivalist meets sci-fi. You know, it's kind of like an end of the world thing set in a massively forested area, but it's also got aliens and sci-fi plots. So I find those tropes definitely work the best.
Yes.
Nice.
Okay, so the game is called Story Pitch. There's 2 rounds. We call it the warm-up round, and then give you your real crack at it. But basically, you've got to give us a number between 1 and 12 for each of these categories: setting, genre, main character's profession, and a crazy addition. Those numbers correlate to a graph that me and Ryan have, and we'll give you what your numbers are, and you've got to pitch us a story. Pretty much.
All right.
Think of me.
I'm ready.
Think of me and Ryan as executives, Hollywood executives, or trad publishing giants, and we want you to, sell us something. Pretty much.
Yeah,
so.
I'm properly intimidated.
Yeah, and that's what we aim for. We love to intimidate our guests. But yeah, just you've come up with a basic outline of the story, and you want to get the funding to make the Netflix show or to write the next series of books, and we're the people that are going to give you the money. So we want you to sell it, give us the outline and pitch of the story, and we will say yes or no.
Yes. So
I'm ready. Let's
when
do
you're
it.
ready, give us four numbers between 1 and 12.
All right. I'm actually going to go with 12,
Mm-hmm.
8,
Yep.
10, and 6.
And 6.
Okay,
Great. These are
okay.
freshly new numbers because last time people keep giving
Yes.
the same numbers accidentally. All right. Okay. Let's look. Where are we? Oh, okay. Your setting is a submarine.
Oh, okay.
Your genre is sci-fi.
Sci-fi on a submarine. All right.
I can do this.
Your main.
Hey,
Well,
could be a flying submarine in space. It doesn't have to be underwater.
oh,
That's
true.
true.
But here comes the first spanner in the works. Your main character is a dance instructor.
Dance instructor.
But that could go with what you picked for your crazy edition, which is something or someone or a group of people that must appear in the story, at least once. They could literally just pop in and say hi and then disappear. But your crazy edition is the entire cast of Hamilton, the musical.
Oh, this is perfect. Okay. I think I got this.
Okay, well, I'll give you a second. Just we like to give our guests, especially the audio listeners, a little bit of a what do you call it? Like this is what we got. This is what's going to come. We've got a sci-fi set on a submarine. Your main character is a dance instructor, and you must have the entire cast of Hamilton the musical. So,
I'm ready.
pitch away.
Okay.
This is going to be a sci-fi twist on the producers. It takes place on a massive submarine inspired by the space cruise ship from The Fifth Element. But it is under a purple ocean and has full glass windows on many of the rooms. The main character, the dance instructor, needs to do her part to get this massive production into motion. And the reason that they need to do it is because the president of the universe is coming and they are going to judge the funding of the submarine based on how good this show is. And they amazingly somehow managed to book the entire cast of Hamilton as backup dancers for this. It doesn't matter if they have dancing experience, that's what they're doing.
Wow.
Okay. I'm gonna say, yeah, I'm gonna give you a 4-season, 12-episode Disney Plus TV show for that.
Wow.
With a
12.
budget of, let's say, $1.5 million per episode. So that's pretty good. Oh, you want more? No, I'm gonna
A little bit, a little bit.
I'm gonna need to see at least Iron
Well,
Man in that show to give you more money.
Well, that was very
Done. He's the director.
That's very generous of you, Ryan, because Disney Plus is usually like 8 to 10 episodes, and you're like 12. Jeez.
Yeah. No, I'm gonna give it 12 because there are some shows on Disney Plus, Daredevil Born Again, that need more than 8 episodes per season. So I'm gonna give you 12 because 12 I feel is a good medium. Netflix generally do between 10 and 12. I
Yeah.
feel like 12 episodes is a good amount of time to tell a good story.
Excellent. Excellent.
We can tell a great story with that.
Yeah. I'd watch it. All right. Round 2. This is a big one. You can give us the same numbers or new numbers. The graph's different. The results will be different. It's completely up to you.
I'll give you new numbers. I will do 1, 3, 9, and 7.
And 7. 1, 3, 9, and 7. Okay, we get this a lot. I'm definitely gonna have to shift this around next time so we can get some different results. But your setting is a community radio station.
Okay.
Your genre is historical fiction.
Okay.
Okay, your main character, we had this last time, a door-to-door salesman.
And sticking with the musical theme, your crazy edition, which is something or a group of people that must appear in the story at least once, is a glee club.
Okay.
So it's a historical fiction set in a community radio station. Your main character is a door-to-door salesman, and you must have a glee club.
Okay. So it's a historical fiction, but it needs to be technologically advanced enough to have a community radio station. So we're gonna go. God, what's a good historical period with radios? I'm gonna go with the Glee Club. And
It's
sorry,
that
what's my
over.
main character again? Door-to-door
Door-to-door
salesman.
salesman.
Yes. So we're gonna go with a historical fiction about World War One. He is a door-to-door bonds salesman, and he goes to the door of a community radio station where he finds that it is absolutely falling apart. And this is a man who's lost his wife, he's lost his family, he's really just trying to like build up his life again after losing everything. And then he finds this opportunity of this community radio station of they are also down in the dumps. And a small part of him believes that if he could fix this radio station, he can fix his life too. And so he comes up with a bunch of ideas. He's a salesman. He's been going door to door selling hammers and refrigerators and everything in between. And now he's up to bail bonds or bonds from the government. And now he's going to invest everything he can into making this community radio station work. And his big move is we're going to do a live production, 24 hours of tons of shows. We're going to do talk shows. We're going to do radio. And you know what? We're going to do a glee club where they sing for 3 hours long and just over and over again. We're going to raise a bunch of money and we're going to use it to, one, buy bonds from the government so that we can support the war and everything that's happening. And two, save this community radio station. And then hopefully his wife will take him back after that.
Nice.
Okay,
I'm very happy.
definitely, I am. I'm seeing Tom Hanks as the door-to-door salesman.
Tom Hanks would be perfect for this role.
He's got that, the presence to do a role of that magnitude. I'm seeing the entire cast of Hamilton as the Glee Club, so tying that into the first.
Bring him
TV
back.
series.
We have their contract for another 6 months. Let's keep him on.
Exactly. They're set in, though both stories are set in the same universe, just thousands of years apart. I'm saying,
course.
okay, let's do a big budget, the big budget film. I'm going to say, let's give you a budget of maybe 50 million.
50 million.
I could probably do something with 50 million.
Yeah.
We're just going to squeeze by, though.
Yeah.
Okay. You're going to be that movie's going to be one of those movies where it's done on a smaller budget and it just makes a truckload of money. So then you're guaranteed everything.
So it'll be set entirely inside the community radio station. Like that'll be the whole.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I suppose
and it's going to be like a really old building.
Yeah. There you go. Just abandoned buildings all around. Save money. More money to pay Tom Hanks and the cast of Hamilton.
Exactly.
Oh, that's your 50.
That's really where most of the budget is going is Tom
going
Hanks.
Tom Hanks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome.
I think we did pretty good.
I think you did very well.
Very well.
And I'll let everyone know.
This was a joint effort. I couldn't have done it without you.
Yeah, that's cool. I'll let everyone know we are doing a full panel story pitch episode. I don't know when it's going to drop, but we're recording it the same day as we're doing Janelle Sheiky's episode. And it's going to be a lot of fun.
Next weekend, I think we're recording that.
Yeah. So it's off time of recording. It's we've got Rebecca Castles coming on. We've got Matthew J. Turner, Sam Robb, and David Cornworth.
Okay.
Three British people and an American. That's what we've got coming on. Two
great.
of those British people are from our shores in Australia. So
I know it's ridiculous. All these UK people coming to our country, writing our books. It's just ridiculous.
Yes, it's crazy. It's crazy.
And you guaranteed a lot of swearing if Matthew J. Turner's coming back on because I think he's part of our most explicit episode ever. So that was fun.
He's a proper Brit.
He definitely is.
Awesome. Well, thank you for joining us, Michael. It's been a blast. Thank you for sticking around for almost 2 hours.
Yes.
just to have a great chat and to learn more about you and your book. We're at the end of the show, so we give you the floor to plug whatever you want to plug. Tell our listeners and viewers where they can follow you and keep up to date with what you're doing.
Of course. First, thank you so much for having me onto the show. Yes, I am Michael Vadney. You can find me on all the socials at Michael_Vadney. You can also find Author Adjacent on X and YouTube at Author Adjacent. But the big news, the big reason why we're here is that Crownfall, the new adult noble dark fantasy, comes out April 28th. I'm super excited to give it to you all and put it in your hands. I have ARC signups right now if you wanted free early access to it in exchange for a honest review. And you can pre-order it at michaelvadney.com/store.
Awesome. Well, I will leave all of the notes down. I'll leave all the links down below in the show notes, guys. Please check that out. Support Michael. Support a great indie author with a great cover. And until next time, keep supporting those indie authors. Please check out our sponsors, Rebecca Castles, Martin Kearns, our honorary sponsors, Janelle Sheeky and Alexander Robb. All the links are below. Buy Ryan's shirt, and you too can live the dream. And we'll catch you on the next episode.